Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. And make sure you got to get out there every day. Make it part of your daily routine. I hardly talk about anything on that website. That's how much information's out there. Make sure you make it part of your whole daily process every day, Monday through Friday, not the weekends. We like to rest. We like to have a little rest, but Monday through Friday, Ramon's got that thing updated every day. So make sure you're out there. We got all kinds of articles, videos, all that stuff. Don't forget the metals program, right? This is March. This is the end of the quarter. So in a few more weeks here, we're going to start shipping out more metals products to all of our customers out there. We're trying to make it so, listen, everybody should be able to take advantage. And I know that's, and unfortunately, it's not true. Everybody can't. But we have a program where for as little as $100 a month, you can start putting away hard assets. And I know we get it. It's hard, right? We run specials all the time. Yesterday was unique, right? We ran a brand new item. It was only $76 and it was gold. Sold out. Gone. And that's just how things are sometimes. But a lot of times, like today, we're going to run a special today on U.S. $20 Liberties because really, first of all, the price is fantastic. Fantastic. And right now, it's the only thing out there in really any quantities. Arlene was talking to the bullion bank. They were actually talking to her today, which never happens. Right? These guys they're very short on words. Just flat out said there is no selling happening in the gold or silver market. It's only buyers, which makes sense. But the special today on $20 Liberties, $13.75. Buy 10 or more, $13.65. But here's the catch. We got 50. That's it. That's all there is. But I get it. A lot of people are like, hey, I don't have $1,375. Oh, sorry about that, guys. That was my fault. That was my cell phone. There's a telemarketer calling, of course, as always. And some reason, I don't know, I must have done something somewhere because I've just been inundated with telemarketing calls this week. But nonetheless, I get it, $1,375, even if you want 10 or more, right? I definitely don't have $13,000. Look at our metals program. For as little as $100 a month, you can get started. You pick the dollar amount. You got to have at least $100 a month. But you can go up. I think we have several people that do $2,000 a month, right? And we got everything in between: 100, 100, quarter, 150, 200, 300, 500. You leave a card on file with us. We take all 4 cards: Visa, MasterCard, Discover, Amex. It's a great. I know all you people love to bang your points out and stuff. I get that, right? You guys love that stuff. You leave a card on file. You tell us what day of the month you want us to charge your card, from the 1st to the 28th. And we'll process your card, and then 4 times a year we physically deliver your metals program. If you want to pick up in Phoenix or in our office in Colorado, you don't have to pay shipping charges either. That means all of your money will go towards the cost of products. And here's the best part about it. We are now at all-time record highs. We have record high participation in our metals program. And we take all of the money and we pool it all together. And we make one massive buy. And just like today, with the $20 gold piece special, hey, if you buy in volume, you get a discount. It works the same for me. If I buy more stuff, I can leverage the wholesalers, give me a better price. So you people in the metals plans, you guys are buying at the best prices. which is probably just as important as anything else goes. So if you go out to allamericangold.com, click on our metals plan thing, you can read all about it. And if you want to sign up or ask questions, give us a call here. And here's the other thing, too, I want you to know, especially a lot of you at the lower end. We understand, hey, life happens. Let me tell you, there's no setup fee, none. Right? You want to sign up, you sign up. We don't charge you for that. Hey, you know what? I had a bad month. The kid wrecked the car, or I got to get new tires, or the water heater broke, or I got to get a new AC unit, whatever it may be. Hey, I need to put the plan on hold. What does that cost? Nothing. Zip, nada. Right? What if I need to end my plan? You know what? It's just not working for me. What does that cost? Nothing. There are no fees, right? Except, obviously, if we need to ship your product, got to charge you the shipping fee, but that's it. And then when we've had people, and Arlene and Wendy will tell you, they stop and start it. Stuff happens. We get it. It's a great program, completely user-friendly. Check it out, 800-951-0592. And for those of you that are already in the plan, we're about 3 weeks away when we'll get ready for the first quarter deliveries. Speaking of delivering, the Dow down 250 more points. I guess Eric was right again. Say the gold drop had nothing to do with gold. It was just letting you know the Dow was getting ready to let go. We'll talk about that and a whole bunch more. Patriot Radio News Hour. Don't touch that dial. Hanging out in the cellar, Joe Jaquint, CEO, Patriot Trading Group, and I guess the owner of KHNC 1360. By the way, just a little announcement from there. We believe, and I know it's been the number one complaint this week by far has been the streaming of 1360. Ramon and I have been testing what we think is the solution for the last, probably going on now 24 hours. And we have yet to break it. So we're hopeful that as early as this weekend, maybe tomorrow, maybe, we will have the streaming problem fixed and uploaded to our website, and you guys can listen to your heart's contents. And we're super. It's been along with this, and Brian and Jason, Ramon, we've been working really hard on it. Sometimes it just takes a little longer than others, and especially when you're like me, I don't know what I'm doing. I'll try anything, though. So get ready for that. We should have that up and going. Of course, remember, Colorado, the clocks are changing. And as of right now, I will be on at 9 o'clock in both Colorado and Arizona on Monday. I have the right to change that, but as of right now, Eric has been sick all week. You know, Eric obviously back and doing a show on 1360. Today, it will be a repeat. Yesterday, I filled in. The day before was Glenn. It's going to be a repeat. We're actually going to be installing some more equipment, which should really make a big difference for Eric's show, and we'll be hopefully back on that again tomorrow. So having said all that, there you go. I've covered all of my business, and let's talk about the news. Why is the Dow down today, down to another 250 as we watch all of these things play out? We had Mario Draghi. For those of you that don't know that name, he is the Federal Reserve chairman, if you will, for the Eurozone, right? The European Central Bank head. And he came out today and said, hey, you know about how we were talking about we're going to end quantitative easing, we're going to start raising rates? Yeah, forget that. That's like I said, these guys don't know what they're doing. They don't know. I mean, I don't get it. You got to have an IQ below room temperature not to see this stuff. You remember Jay Powell just back in December was telling you how great everything was. Of course, what was I telling you? Things are getting slow. You better start paying attention. They still won't admit it on the idiot box. I turn it on every morning, and they just don't want to admit it. The Federal Reserve's Beige Book came out yesterday after the market. And the Beige Book, I guess they call it that because the cover is beige, right? Which I like. Hey, let's just keep it simple, right? If it was blue, it's the blue book. If it's beige, it's the beige book. And this is a report done by all 12 of the central banks in the country, or regional banks, if you will. So here in the West, we have one, which is San Francisco, right? Probably the worst place for it to be, right? If you ever wanted to, well, maybe not, right? You got the worst homeless population ever. You literally step over syringes and human feces on the sidewalks there. And yet you got the wealthiest people pretty much anywhere all over the place. I read somewhere where 81% of all houses in San Francisco are over $1 million. For the country, to put it in perspective, the country, it's less than 3%. So, but nonetheless, we get all 12 regions reporting. And this is a quarterly deal. And they let the central bank know, hey, I've been talking to the big businesses, right? 'Cause they don't care about me. They don't care about you. They're not calling you, right? They're not calling AL Wire Repair, right? They're not calling Grandpa's Pawn. They're not calling any of these guys out. They're not calling me, right? Who do they call? Oh, they call Wells Fargo, right? JP Morgan. They call Bank of America, right? They'll call Apple and all of those, right? They call the big guys. Hey, how's it going out there? Here's what they said. 10 of the 12 regions said growth was slight to moderate. Now, just to put it in perspective, last Beige Book, moderate was the worst word any of the 12 used. So now we find out 10 said slight to moderate. The other two, and in this case, St. Louis and Philadelphia, said that economic conditions were flat. So we've got two banks that said, hey, there's no growth. And the other 10 said, hey, we're barely having growth. The tone of the Beige Book report was somber. They said that slower activity due to a partial shutdown in 6-digit districts. They said that a wide range of issues besides the shutdown, including, of course, which was funny because the shutdown happened in January, but again, they'll say anything, right? They'll use any excuse. I love the ones like when it's winter. It's the weather. And it's summer. It's the weather. Here's where the issues. Slow retail. Slow auto sales. Slow tourism. Slow real estate. Slow restaurants. Slowing manufacturing. Oh, and the staffing services are slow. They said consumer spending was mixed. That meant some districts says it was negative, and some districts said, it was still holding up. Retail and auto sales were lower, here you go, due to the harsh winter. Now, I'll give a little, listen, we actually had winter this year, right? So maybe. Higher cost of credit. Now, that's something I can believe. Right? Did you see the average cost, right, of new cars now? all-time record high. Average cost of a used car, all-time record high. Credit card debts, all-time record highs, right? All these things, all-time record highs, which means, hey, more of my paycheck is going to serve debt than anything else. Manufacturing activity was very interesting in the report. They said that firms were now saying with a wall of worry of weakening global demand. Now, if you look at our trade deficit numbers, that's evident, right? Demand for our stuff made here falling off a cliff. Higher cost, ongoing uncertainty, and let's just call it what it is. Did you hear about the consumer? They weren't buying anything. How about that for a worry? I'm just saying. What do I know? The retailer's down at the restaurant. He's not buying on the at the mall. He's not buying cars. He's not buying houses. But everything's okay. Come on. Faster import prices, rising faster than selling prices. In other words, margin pressure. That's a fancy way of saying, hey, our margins aren't going to be very good. Get ready. Told you what's going to happen. Profit growth is going to, I hope it stays above zero. The big picture says that Fed officials have been forecasting an economic slowdown in 2019, and the process is on the way. And now, all of a sudden, between yesterday and today, the central bank was out saying, hey, growth is going to now slow considerably. See, I told you that in December, right? When Jay Powell raised rates and gave that idiot press conference where he thought, oh, we are strong and it's great. Remember? And then we had the Christmas Eve massacre on Wall Street, the one-day bear market. And I just said the guy just put the nail in the coffin on everything. Yeah, they did. That rate hike was one rate hike too many. And, of course, now they've completely done a 180, right? They completely said, oh, wait, we're going to be patient. Today, they're saying the slowdown in the U.S. economy is going to be considerable in 2019. They said, amid economic uncertainty, the Fed could be waiting for a much longer time before raising interest rates again. This was John Williams at the Economic Club of New York yesterday. I got to figure out how to get in this club. Right? I wonder what a ticket costs to get in to watch one of these idiot central bankers talk a bunch of bull. I'm just saying. I don't know. Probably more money than I've got in the entire world, right? I don't know what it would take to get an invite to it. This guy, by the way, in case you don't know who he is, he replaced Janet Yellen at the San Francisco Central Bank. So he's our guy. Now he's the number 2 guy. He's the he holds the number 2 position at the central bank now. So he got promoted after Jay Powell took over for Janet Yellen. He got promoted. Of course, you know why. Right? Well, I'm good buddies with Apple and Google and Netflix, and, I'm the Silicon Valley guy. Global markets falling in recent weeks, and Williams said that last year's strong global growth, fiscal stimulus, and easy financial conditions helped boost the U.S. economy. Really what it did, right? It covers more covering up. This is all this central bank knows how to do. We've got a horrible mess. Let's cover it up. Just like this is no different than our government. When I started here, they were still talking about balancing budgets. Right? They were still, Alan Greenspan was still saying, oh, no, we're going to have the debt paid off. Don't wait. It's just going to take a little longer. Federal deficit up 77%. Oh, pay no attention. It's fine. Don't worry. We can print money forever. What could possibly go wrong? Well, apparently, the tailwinds, as John Williams called it, have calmed. Yeah, they've stopped. Right? They've stopped. And in fact, reversed in some cases. See, there you go. That's even a better word. I expect growth to slow considerably relative to last year. And this was in a text of his prepared remarks. He's hoping for, now get this, ready for the big number, around 2%. There you go. How many times have we heard that number before? Patriot Radio News Hour, halftime. We'll be back right after the break.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, a daily commentary continuing the conservative pro-family legacy of Phyllis Schlafly. Now, here's the president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, Ed Martin.
Another day, another innocent person destroyed by the social media mob for an innocuous expression of free speech. The thought and language police will aggressively enforce a speech code according to politically correct liberal dogmas. First, it was Congressman Steve King, who was wrongly ostracized for questioning when the term Western civilization became offensive. A week later, it was 15-year-old Nick Sandman, a junior at Covington Catholic High School, who was confronted at the March for Life by a tribal elder banging a drum in his face. Next in the hot seat was the president of the University of Notre Dame, Father John Jaquint. He kowtowed to the Native American Student Association by agreeing to cover up 12 large murals that depict Christopher Columbus's arrival in the New World. The latest victim of the self-appointed guardians of diversity is the 78-year-old liberal journalist icon Tom Brokaw. In a rare appearance on Meet the Press in January, Brokaw commented that Hispanics should work harder at assimilation. He continued that they ought not to be just codified in their communities, but make sure that all their kids are learning to speak English. The response to Brokaw's good advice was fast and furious. One liberal immigration reporter said Brokaw was arguing classic white supremacist talking points in a deeply racist rant on national television. The founder of LatinoRebels.com said it was not only factually incorrect, it was also xenophobia in action. Brokaw's fellow commentator on Meet the Press, PBS NewsHour's Yamiche Alcindor, said, "We need to adjust what we think of as America. The idea that Americans can only speak English as if Spanish and other languages weren't always part of America is in some ways troubling." Like many Hispanic activists and lobbyists, Alcindor rejects the whole idea of assimilation. The rabid politically correct forces move so quickly that even their own can't keep up. Whether liberal, conservative, old or young, the behemoth of political correctness will destroy anything in its path. The left is creating a monster that it cannot control. This dogmatic political correctness is fundamentally un-American and will permanently harm our public discourse.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. Political correctness is no longer simply about restricting speech. This tool for tyranny has led to employees being fired, pastors silenced, small businesses closed, and truth suppressed. Thankfully, the politically correct can't censor the work at phyllisschlafly.com. Join us, won't you? At phyllisschlafly.com. And thanks for listening to the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
800-951-0592. Kroger today. The grocery store chain. What Kroger's is Fry's here. Fry's here. They own Smith's. Kroger in the Midwest. Them and Walmart and Costco dominate the grocery business. right? You got Albertsons Safeway, which is they're dying. Right? They keep merging. They're owned by a hedge fund, right? You know that game, right? They're on the Sears Kmart path. Kroger stock getting hammered today. Same store sales for the fourth quarter. I mean, that was Thanksgiving, Christmas. Down 9.5% at Kroger today. It's happening. A lot, and I know if you don't want to open your eyes and see, it makes it hard to find. Just 4 months after Amazon enacted a $15 minimum wage for all of its employees, including the ones at Whole Foods. Right? Remember, Amazon now owns Whole Foods. It is now slashing worker hours, according to The Guardian. They said Whole Foods employees are saying that hourly raises are often negated by the reduced schedule. Duh! That's how it works. Hey, we're going to pay you more. By the way, your hours just got cut. Hours are going from 30 hours a week to 20 hours a week, said one Illinois employee. We have to work faster to meet the same goals in less time. Right? They call that productivity. Come on, get with it. Right? It's one of the central bank's favorite things. Right? And then we're going to come out and tell you, oh, you're making so much more money. And you're like, what? Well, just got my hours cut. They said the $15 minimum hour wage was enacted. Part-time employees, right? Think the, what was that? Was that part of Obamacare? I forget what it was, what a part-time employee was. And, of course, what did I say then? Everyone's going to be a part-time employee soon. All part-time employee hours have been reduced to no more than 21 hours a week. Full-time saw their average hours reduced from 37 and a half hours a week. What happened to 40? What happened to 40? Now full-time at Whole Foods is 34.5. The workers saying that the scheduling from November through January showing hours per worker in the departments significantly decreased. And the percentage of the entire store's labor budget stayed relatively the same. In other words, cut the hours to make up for the increase in pay. It says, and it goes on and on and on. Listen, this is America today. Right? You think about Amazon. This is the richest guy in the world. Yeah. I care about my stock price. I care about my employees. Right? I'm going to pretend to care about my employees. I'm going to make a big announcement and go out on the idiot box and have everyone say great things about me. That I declare everybody makes $15 an hour. Now think about $15 an hour at, let's use their your full time there, 34.5 hours. That's a whopping $500 a week before taxes. So you're getting your $2,000 a month. Right, you're raking it in, right? You're making let me times it by 50 to be fair. You're making $26,910 before taxes, raking it in. Well, the richest guy in the world is going, well, you know, what I'm not going to say in the press release is I'm just going to cut everybody's hours. So that way I'll guarantee they don't make any more money. And everybody out there, because let's face it, all the news, they don't want to report the real news. What they want to report is what they want you to hear. And, you know, Jason and Brian, if you guys haven't been catching their show's on from 3 to 4 in Mountain Standard Time, 3 to 4 Mountain Standard Time. I got to start saying that, I guess, on 1360. And they've been really doing some great work there. Totally different show. But they were talking about the media. Right? You think about the Phyllis Schlafly report that just played here a minute ago. And it really got me thinking, my brother, I got my older brother, he's a colonel in the Army. By the way, customer. Right? My other brother, not the youngest, but the one closest to me, he is a senior VP for a television company. And they changed all the rules. And I'm trying to think. I'll have to ask him exactly when 10, 12 years ago, something like that. Because you used to only be able to own like 30% of the population. In other words, if you had TV stations in New York City, Chicago, L.A., San Diego, right? That was it, right? You couldn't own any more than that because it took up so much of the population. And so you had a lot of different media companies out there because you couldn't own that many. As soon as you got up to that number, you couldn't get any bigger. So where my brother works, they used to own like 25 stations. Then the law changed. They now own, I think they're approaching 110. And every week, my brother is flying somewhere. They pick him up on a private jet. I mean, he's a big shot, right? A private jet picks him up and he flies somewhere. Well, what he does is they pick him up in West Virginia. He flies to Washington, D.C., picks up the attorney, and him and the attorney fly to these stations that they're buying. And you're getting the exact same news. The only thing that's different is the person reading the teleprompter. It's identical. Think about when all this crazy nonsense started happening. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. The Dow's down 200. The S&P down 15. The NASDAQ's down 40 points. Gold's just kind of hanging out. It's down $1, $1,286. Silver down about 3 cents right now, just hanging out right around $15 to the ounce. Matter of fact, the only thing up, crude oil, which I don't know why. They reported like huge amounts of crude and inventory gained like 7-8 million barrels week over week. But, who knows? Crude oil, $56.62. I didn't know gas prices started rising again. Well, you got to get that retail sales number up. Right? How do you do it? Raise the price of gasoline. That'll fix everything. But yeah, so I was talking before the break. And Jason and Brian, they played this clip yesterday. And it seemed like hundreds of news anchors all saying the exact same thing. All over the country. Not, it wasn't in their own words, right? They were all reading the teleprompter. And this is how we've gotten this crazy swing here now of all of a sudden, everybody's a racist, right? Socialism's on the rise, right? Because this is what the media is putting out there. And it's like a cancer. It's everywhere now. Didn't used to be that way. Why? Because they had laws in place. Right? It's just like the GM plant that's closing today in Ohio. It's been open since 1966. And I heard the people, I was listening to Fox News this morning. And they're making this big deal. Well, I don't understand why GM just can't retool that plant. I don't know. And I know they're supposed to be, the big stock people on their channel, right? Fox News in the morning, Maria Bartiromo. Have you not been watching car sales? Right? I don't understand. And, of course, they were building a car there. And, of course, nobody wants a car in America anymore anyway. But they're like, I don't understand why they don't retool the plant. Because that's how far car sales have fallen. It's time to wake up now. I know we all want to live in little fantasy land. Right? We all want to get Mr. Rourke and Tattoo out there. Go to Fantasy Island. 4% GDP. That was over a long time ago. You know what is interesting, though? You know what I'm hearing now? They're going back. We had that little spike this year, right, in 2018. And we know why, right? And I'm just going to call it the way it is, right? Trump gave a bunch of tax breaks to a bunch of billionaires, period. They're supposed to create this great economy and hire all these people and do all that stuff, and they regurgitate these idiotic numbers. And I say idiotic because people, they don't get hired full-time. Right? If you took away like Uber and Lyft and Uber Eats and all the gig economy, there's no growth. I mean, oil, yeah, okay, oil's growing. Listen, car companies, they're all laying off. But they're sitting there and they're making a big deal. And I'm like, are you paying attention? I know, they're wealthy people there. No one can afford it. Everything you look at is at record high levels. Home prices, record high levels. Insurance premiums, record high levels. Car payments, record high levels. Credit card payments, record high levels. What do you think's going to happen? Everybody out there is getting the Whole Foods deal. Oh, yeah, we're paying people a lot of money. $15 an hour for everybody. Right? Someone probably went into Bezos' office after the announcement and said, what are you doing? You know what's going to happen to the stock price? And he's like, oh, don't worry. We're going to cut everybody's hours. We're going to have them do the exact same amount of work and have them do it in less time. It'll be great. And we tell them how productive we all are. And if they can't get it done, don't worry. I'm making a robot that's going to replace them soon anyway. 800-951-0592. You've been handed a gift. It's a gift. Gold fell $60. Buy the dip. Because really, when you think about it, you look at the dollar's up big today. Big. Back over 97. Not because our data was any good. It wasn't. It was because the ECB came out and said, not only are we not raising rates, we're probably going to go back to quantitative easing. Oh, and by the way, all of our banks are in trouble again. Here's a bunch of money. Isn't it funny how it's always the same? Why isn't there breaks for the consumer? Hey, you know what? Forget about us loaning the banks really cheap money. We're going to loan you cheap money, but that's not what they want. Right? The tax cuts, they weren't for us. They never are. Right? They never are. And now we're sitting here, we got a $22.1-something trillion budget deficit. Deficit's up 77%. And they're trying to tell you to buy stocks. Yep, buy this debt instead of that debt. See? Just remember, every stock, every annuity, every mutual fund, every money market, you're buying debt when you do that. That's why you need to have, that's why I always tell you, better have some of your money in something that isn't debt, like gold and silver. Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment coming up. 800-951-0592 is the toll-free number. And another fantastic special again today. We started the week, it was slow, right? There was nothing out there, right? No 5 libs, no 10 libs, no 10th ounce, right? And no, we finally just got Silver Eagles back in. And then yesterday we ran that special on those 1/20th of an ounce. Those sold out. Got a great item today. The bread and butter coin of this company, ever since I've worked here, the U.S. $20 gold piece, it's the foundation of what we believe here, right? Because we want not only it's so obvious why you need to own gold. Everybody should. Am I telling you to put all your money into gold? Absolutely not. Right? That's a decision for you to make. Right? Because, hey, let's face it, I don't know what the market's going to do tomorrow. Nobody knows. But you better have some. And every day, every month, every year that goes by, the debt levels of not just, forget about just America, the world, it's all the same. It's, you think about this, really, all these central bankers, and not one of them has an independent thought. Not one? They all think the exact same? Really? See what I'm saying here? They've rigged it all. And guess what? It's getting ready to blow up. That's why they say, what I love about these guys now, they want you to believe, the slow economic growth now, it's the new normal, right? It's the new normal. Why? Why is it the new normal? Oh, wait, because you printed all this money all over the place because you wanted to have prosperity through debt? Right? You tried to squeeze all of the money out of everybody right now and said, we'll worry about it later. So here we are. We're not in an economic slowdown. Well, it's a slowdown. I should say we're not in a recession yet. We're not at war. Why is the deficit going to hit an all-time high? Think about last year, right? I mean, GDP-wise, this is the best year in 10 years. The debt was $1.3 trillion. I know they said it was only $800 billion. It was $1.3 trillion. How? That's why you got the new normal. Let me tell you what the new normal is going to look like. Negative interest rates, banks charging you for your deposits. Right? Everybody in America is going to be out there dead broke. That's what it's going to look like. U.S. $20 liberties, the most private way to own gold. That's why I love it. It's close to spot. You're buying it for the gold content. There's no question to what you own. You don't have to worry about what it's worth. Right? What's spot doing? If it's going up, it's worth more. If it's going down, it's worth less. $13.75 buy 10 or more. $13.65. That puts you less than $80 over spot at 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. We're back for one more show tomorrow. Take care. God bless.